This ain't the final judgment, my guy, my friend. This is the balancing and the regulation of the energies. But yeah, I can run that down for you. Let me just back this up so you can see the whole thing. Hold on. See if you can see the whole thing. Hold on. No, you're good. There's a lot of misinformation on these things. You ain't got to apologize to me. I know exactly why you think that shit, because they got that fake ass comedic fucking bullshit floating around trying to teach everybody all the wrong shit and claiming that it's theirs and hitting us with that fucking comedic language and shit, and yeah, and they can't even teach you this shit. So you're good with me. You ain't got to apologize to me for nothing. Let me just help you with it though. Hold on. Okay, so can we see everything? Yeah, we can pretty much see everything. I need a pointing stick. Hold on, let me go get a broomstick. Make this easier. Ah, there we go. Oh, shit. Damn, people, I just almost ate the dust right there. Ah. There we go. Let me get back in here. Okay, so. All right, now let me give y'all a little bit of insight here. Okay, first off, you see these two people standing over here? You see this? These two represent many different things. First, you got to realize that the reason that it's two women standing out here is because your emotions are always on the outside of you. Okay? Why is it emotions? Because you have Amy, which is the amygdala, and you have Sarah, which is your cerebellum. One controls the emotional response to a memory, and one controls the physical response to that emotion. Okay? So you have the two together. Why? Because you also have a left and a right hemisphere. You also have a happy and a sad. You also have two different perspectives that you can take to any situation. You get me? Okay? You following along here? Okay? So they create inside your temple, right? They're found inside the temple where your thoughts rest. Your thoughts, that's why you have the head of the man, right? Because that's your fucking thoughts, okay? The bird itself represents the energy of the thought, because your thoughts are the things that leave out of your head, right? They leave out. So what is it that you see flying around? How would they represent that? A man on a bird's body, standing on a temple. Your temple, where your thoughts leave from. They have to leave in the air, so of course they're going to have feathers and wings, okay? These are your thoughts, okay? This is the foundation of the thought from your emotions. The emotional response to the ideas that you have that create that solidify within the temple the words that come from them, right? Your heart has its own intention, right? Your heart has its own fucking thing that speaks, okay? Your heart has its own speaker. You understand? This is your heart, the jug. The jug is the heart, because what do they teach you? What do they teach you about your heart? They teach you that your heart can shatter. They teach you that your heart can be put back together. They teach you that your heart can be full. They teach you that your heart can be empty. What else do you do with a jug? You put it in a refrigerator, right? So your heart can turn cold, right? You can also put hot liquid in there, right? So your heart can be hot, right? And then your heart, it has to be on the scale, because sometimes your heart is heavy, right? And all this is really determined off of the energies that you have due to the emotions that you carry, right? But remember, those emotions are always outside of you. Why do you think when you respond to your emotions, you do things where you're like, I wouldn't have done that? Why? Because that shit's outside of you. Your emotions are outside of the realm of your heart. Okay? So the foundation of the scales are weighed off of your emotional responses. That's why you have to be, what do they tell you about your emotions? You want your emotions to be on the outside. You want that outside perspective of your emotions, right? This is how they teach you. You're supposed to be the center, right? You're supposed to be the one that is the observer. You understand? So the thing is, right, is that you have the monkey who sits on top. That's your brain. Okay? Why is the monkey the perfect thing for your brain? Because your brain is what? In the tree of knowledge, right? Okay, so if your brain is in the tree of knowledge, right? What's the thing that you find in trees? Fucking monkeys. Now the thing about that is the monkey sits inside the tree due to the fact that, because you see this right here? I'm sure you've seen them do that a whole bunch of times, haven't you? Cross. This is your holy cross right here. This is where they get it from. This is how they found out about it, okay? So the thing is that your mind has its own nature to it, okay? And since your mind has its own nature to it, the monkey is the perfect representation. This is one of the forms of thoth. This is the other form of thoth. This is the heart. This is the part that represents your sternum, okay? And this is the part that represents your brain, right? The midbrain. The part that regulates all of the thoughts and regulates the distribution and things. That's what the monkey represents. Now, why is that? Because just like a monkey, right? Just like a monkey, you can actually, the best, you know what? I'm going to leave that subject alone. I'm going to let you decide for yourself what you think of these, what you think of the difference between me pointing out a bunch of stuff and telling you this is me right here and something that you can't fucking see versus me showing you what these things actually mean and making it make sense. And then you decide for yourself who knows their shit and who doesn't and who's misleading people and who's teaching you things. Because one of us is teaching you that these are gods. And then one of us is teaching you how this is you and how it represents you and giving you a productive way in order for you to utilize it for yourself. Instead of saying, hey, I'm fucking special and you're nothing and I'm the king of this and I'm this and that. No, I'm going to explain to you what it actually fucking means. Now, mind you, I gave him a curriculum that teaches him about these things, and not for nothing, like, okay, so I'm gonna let you make your own discernment. I'm not going to speak on this man. So the monkey sits inside of the tree of knowledge. Why is it the monkey? Have you ever seen a monkey in these little videos and shit? You understand? Have you ever seen how monkeys react to things in these videos? If you feed the monkey, it's really nice to you for a moment. What's feeding the monkey? That's the thoughts. That's the things that you're taking in. Okay, that's the things that are in your view. That's what you're feeding the monkey. Now, the thing is that the monkey doesn't know good. The monkey doesn't know bad. The monkey doesn't speak of good and bad. The monkey just simply analyzes things and reacts in nature. So the thing is that monkey is a corrupting little motherfucker. Okay, this is why they tell you that Thoth was treacherous at a time. Okay, these stories are allegories. The reason that he's treacherous sometimes is because he's the monkey. Now, what happens? You could be sitting at the beach, having the greatest day in the fucking world, right? And all of a sudden, that monkey just shits something out and throws it right the fuck in your face. You're sitting at the beach, chilling, enjoying the fucking waves and shit like that, and all of a sudden you think, damn, my fucking girl didn't call me. Where's that bitch at? I thought she was on her way here. And blah, blah, blah. That's the fucking monkey. There's that time when you're thinking, hey, look, I'm about to go and get me a new job. And you're feeling all happy and stuff. Just like you can give a monkey some food, right? You see it in the movies and on people's fucking little television and shit. You know, you feed that little monkey and he's happy for a couple of fucking seconds. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's just like, here, throw some shit in your face real quick. And that's the end of it. You get what I'm saying? Bro, herbal alchemist, shut the fuck up. You're literally saying the same thing that I'm saying and you don't even realize it. I'm just explaining it in detail. This is why Thoth equals thought, my guy. Because when he's in the baboon form, that's part of your mind. That's your midbrain right there. The thing that regulates your thoughts. We're saying the same thing. So please don't try to correct me by saying the thing that's verifying the thing that I'm explaining to you in details that nobody else can. We're on the same side here. Open your mind up. So, the thing about the monkey is that even if you feed a monkey, all of a sudden that shit will just turn around and fucking attack you. You could be having a great fucking day, and all of a sudden, hey, you remember when that motherfucker said that stupid shit? That monkey just throws something right in your face. Well, whap! Now you're having a shitty day because you don't know how to control this thing, and you don't fucking regurgitate it and fucking argue with this motherfucker. Sometimes you gotta train your monkey, right? Sometimes you got to get it under control because that shit gets out of hand real quick. And sometimes, we forget to, and we get lost in the moment and let that shit run amok. And what's it do? Soon as that problem starts, what happens? That monkey will go from tree to tree. You'll start talking shit to somebody, and then that monkey just swings over to their tree and puts that same shit in their head. Now you got two of you going at each other. Right? Throwing you out of balance with your heart. You understand? So the thing is that's thought right there. That's the thought. That's why he's one of the forms. Okay? So the monkey is a destructive fucking little creature sometimes. Why? Because the monkey doesn't really give a fuck about nature. What it is an analytical process. It's the analyzation of the knowledge that comes in. So a lot of times we think that, a lot of times we let that thing get out of control because you'll be, perfect example, right? Perfect example. You'll be going to start a new job, right? And as you're going to start a new job, you're sitting there thinking, oh, this is great. I got all these opportunities in front of me. Everything's going to be great. And then all of a sudden you get that idea of, yeah, but if you go that way, you're probably going to, you're risking losing your house. You're risking losing being able to pay for this. You're risking losing being able to do this and that and the third, right? Because it's nothing but an analysis. What you don't realize is that your mind is going to give you scenarios that are possibilities. The thing is if you allow your mind to dictate them possibilities and allow it to operate in its nature without teaching it how you want it to relay things to you, it's going to keep giving you what you presume to be negativities. And because you don't correct it, and because you don't reprimand it and put it in its place, what you end up doing is following that idea of that negativity or that shit that little motherfucker throws in your face. Right? And when you allow that to happen, what happens? That energy that gets extracted from it then becomes the thing that is binding your reactions, your physical interpretation of your thoughts. You understand? You get what I'm saying? How do you correct it? Talk to yourself. They tell you not to talk to yourself. But the best thing for you to do is talk to yourself. You have to correct this and reprogram it to aim it in the direction that you want from it. A lot of us don't do that. You'll wake up in the morning, right? You'll wake up in the morning and your brain will be like, oh, it's foggy outside. It's raining. It feels like it's going to be a shitty day. And you're like, oh yeah, it does feel like it's going to be a shitty day. No. You just let that fucking monkey loose with its little analysis. You're supposed to go, no, this ain't no fucking shitty day. Fuck, I couldn't even have made it today. I could have been dead right now. I'm fucking great. What the fuck are you talking about? You got to start retraining that thing. You understand? That's how you get control of it. Is you speak into existence the answers that you want this thing to be programmed to see. You have to make control of that. A lot of people make the mistake of allowing it to be something that guides them instead of you guiding this. This is an analysis. Your brain simply analyzes the memories that you're creating, the things that you bring into it. And so your brain's job is to protect you by letting you know of scenarios and by but sometimes that shit gets a little out of control and sends you straight down a fucking dark path. Why? Because it goes, oh, that bitch is cheating. And because they showed up 5 minutes late. Oh, that bitch is cheating. And you're like, yeah, you're right. She's fucking cheating. It's easy for you to fall for this shit. I do it all the time. Okay? So it's not like this is something that you got to practice all the time. Why? Because as soon as you forget that little fucking monkey's up there, that's when it's got you. You were standing there looking at it too. Oh, it's so sweet. And you thought, oh, you could just reach up to it and give it a little bit of a snack. And now that motherfucker bit your fucking thumb off. Why? Because you didn't trust it to be what it is. You didn't pay attention to the nature of it. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is is that you got to train this motherfucker every time. And a lot of times we forget to do that. Yo, I'm sweating. Yo, how many times you see a video where somebody goes to hand the monkey something to eat and it stands there and it eats it, and then it's just looking at him like, where's the rest of it? And they don't have nothing else to give him. What's that monkey do? Rah! Fucking jumps at him, motherfucking hits them, tries to steal their purse, tries to hold their shit hostage and make them give them something that they don't even have. That's your fucking brain. Your brain is like, oh, I know you're happy and I think that you're going to be making progress, but guess what, motherfucker? That's you, man. Look, you got to put that monkey in the cage sometimes. You got to fucking cage that motherfucker up. That shit will lead you into a whole bunch of shit every chance that it gets. Why? Because the monkey's just entertained by everything. Everything's entertaining to the monkey. And when it's not being entertained, it's what? Piss the fuck off. Your midbrain. The thing that regulates the thoughts and the energies that go through your thoughts. That's the monkey. Okay? That's why he sits on top of the scales. This thing right here. Okay? So then you got what? If you notice, hey, look, let me show you how this is, look, I'm going to give you all kinds of sauce on this shit, okay? So you got Anubis here, right? You have the earth, which represents your body. You have the blood that the energy travels through, that's carried by the frequency, right? And the word that comes from the tongue. This is the word right here. This is the tongue that balances out the physical, the frequency, the reaction. Oh, shit, sorry. You can't see the feather. My bad. Okay? Your muscles, okay? Everything. All the physical shit, okay? That's what the muscle represents. It's all physical representations. So, what do you have on the scales? You have your heart, which is your intentions. You have your monkey, which is the spirit. And then you have the feather for the physical. Soul, spirit, body. Now, what else do you have here? I want you to notice that when you're looking at this, right? I gotta move this stuff out the way so you can see everything. Don't worry, I'm gonna start working on that jacket soon. That shit's gonna be dope. I just haven't, the design that I'm supposed to put on it just hasn't came to me yet. Okay, but look, check this out, right? Let's move some of this shit so you can see it. I want you to see the bottom of this shit too, right? Because every part of this is a teaching thing, okay? Look, now first off, I want you to notice that he's kneeling down, right? He's kneeling down, right? Why is he kneeling down? Now also, if you notice this shape right here, if you've been in my lives before, you know that this is the representation of what? See this shape right here? This is what your vertebrae look like. This is the pose that all the disciples take, the discs of the spine. Why? Because it's the information that's traveling to the earth, the energy that's going through the bones in your spinal column, and this is the blood that's traveling with it because it's carried in the blood. The energy gets carried through the blood. The thought is what's carried in the waters, right? In those living waters, that's why this is blue right here, are the things that send the energy through the blood, throughout the body in the first place, okay? Now, this is the thing. If you notice, he's kneeling. Why? Because he bows down, right? This is submission, right? That's why you kneel before something. Kneel down, my son. And then they tap him on, oh, now you're a knight, okay? Think about that for a minute. So the reason that he sits this way, because he is submitting to the thoughts. Because your thoughts are the things that control the responses. You get what I'm saying? Okay? Now, your heart has its own voice, right? That's why your heart speaks to you. Your heart protects itself. Your heart has its own fucking entity. Now, biblically speaking, let thine eye be single, so thy body is full of light. Full of what? Lightness. See how he's lifting up the scales? Lightness. Making a light body. Through what? Your frequency that's created off of the vibration. Why do we know that this is vibration? Have you ever seen a distillery? Have you ever seen a distillery? Okay, I want you to think about a distillery. Think about how they make moonshine. what do you see? Do you notice how up here, you see these little ropes that are wrapping around this, right? You see that? So what do you have? On the scales, look, check this out, right? Oh, I gotta back this back out. Hold on one second. Hey, I'll try. Don't forget to tap the screen because TikTok gonna get on my heels in a little bit if y'all not feeding their little algorithm bullshit. So look, check this out, right? So think about it like this, right? Now, the heart is what? That's a source of energy, okay? If the heart is a source of energy, then you have energy, and that energy is then being brought in, right? And as it crosses, that means that it's getting an extraction. Why? Because this is the thing this is the part. Look, notice how it's connected at the bottom. You notice how he's got one foot on the scale and he's got his knee and his foot on the scale. Okay? So you have an energy, right? And outside of that energy, you also have two things that get bound into one. Right? And those two things that get bound into one create the foundation, right? So if this is energy, then what could this also be? Fire, heat, right? This is an extraction process. This is a tincture that's being created, okay? Think about this for a minute. You have an energy, you have two substances that are being turned into one internally, right? So that's two things that have to go into one thing in order to create one thing, right? So that's an alchemical process. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. When you're looking at this, these little wraps right here are tied to what? The place where the energy goes and the thing that affects it, right? So you have the effect of it being mixed, and you have the creation of it over here, and then you have the extraction of it. This is creating a tincture through energy, right? Because that new tincture, right? When you create an extraction, right? You get a vanilla extract. You take something. Think about an extraction process. Once you put it all through that chemical process where you heat it up and where it gets extracted, it then what? Becomes more powerful and becomes a big energy itself. You understand? So then, once it becomes that big energy, it's what? The physical production that you just created. So this is alchemy. Whether you want to speak about it from a scientific process or you want to speak about it from a psychological process, this is an extraction process that you're witnessing. Ah, there you go. There you go, guy body. That's a good way to look at it. There you go. Like, see, y'all catching up with this shit. Okay? So, realize that this thing is not something that has to deal with the dead. Okay? This isn't the scales of life and death necessarily the way they feed it to you. This doesn't have to deal with your afterlife. You were guaranteed heaven on earth, not heaven in the afterlife. You understand? You were guaranteed through what? The right chest. Everything. Notice how they all look to the right except for the energy that's received from what they perceive. Think about that for a fucking second. Notice how everybody, let thine eye be single. Notice how everybody has a single eye here. Nobody has two eyes. Why? Because this is an internal process. That's why not even these two have two eyes. You have one eye on each of them. Let thine eye be single and thy body full of light. Right? And wherewithal shall man be led by the word to be cleansed? Or balancing the scales. Okay? Now think about this for a minute. I want you to think about this for a minute. All you hear about in your little biblical texts is what? Being right-chested. If this is the chest, what's on the right side of the chest? The result of you being right, of acting right, of doing right, of speaking right, of, you understand? This is where your righteousness came from in the first fucking place. Because this is dealing with the right chest. Is the camera flipped? Is it in reverse for you? It might be in reverse for you. Maybe. Okay. So now, speaking biblically, right? Speaking biblically, you don't want to be dual-minded. Now, psychologically, what do you have? You have other people's opinions that get created off of observing who you are. And allowing those other people's opinions, right, to be the foundation of the way that your intentions are replicated in the physical world will always lead you to building up new energy. Okay? Because look, this is the thing, right? So how do we apply this daily and shit like that? I want you to think about this for a minute. Now this is the thing, right? Where 1, 2, 3 gather, there God is with them. Okay? Where 2 or 3 gather, there God is with them. Now, you're getting there, Herv. You're fucking getting there, Herv. I like it. I like it, bro. You see, the more I explain this to you, the more it's going to be easier for you to see these things for yourself. So, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. The way that people see you on a day-to-day basis is out of your control for the most part. That's why they're on the outside of you. But the thing is, depending on what you have in your past and what you put behind you determines the type of energy that you create for your own world. Okay? Oh God, here we go. Where's my, let me get this fucking bloop. Have a nice day, guy. You're not going to disrespect your you're not going to disrespect my ancestors' works that your Bible came from with your nonsense. I'm sorry. That's not allowed. Hey, Coco, you still in here? Coco. Hold on, people. Give me 1 second. He's already gone. I blocked him. Don't even trip off of that. I just need to make sure that I still got some mods in here. Coco. You still in here? All right. I need somebody else to swing that guillotine for me. Let's see if there's somebody in here that I've known for a while. Give me 1 second. Oh, word, bet. Manage moderator. No, you're a mod already. Okay, you're good. All right, we're good. So, back to the shit. All right, so, anyway. Now, this is the thing, right? Now, how do we think about this for a minute? How else can this be represented? All right, I want you to think about this. Look, you have the past, you have the present, and you have the future. Why? Because this is the energy that is to come, right? That's why they're leading towards it. And this is the energy that's behind you. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot. There's a whole lot in this. Okay, this isn't just some little shit. Okay, this is everything in life right here. I can give you everything in life out of these scales. I want you to think about this for a minute, right? So where 2 or 3 gather, their God is with them. So what does that mean? That means that every day that when you're walking down the streets, what is happening when you're walking down the streets is other people are observing you. And the other people that are observing you are generating their own ideas about you as you're going through them. Now, if you've noticed, you can walk down the streets and you'll see what? People that smile at you, right? And then you'll see people that look fucking pissed off at you just for no reason. This happens at your job. There's somebody at your job right now that loves you to death. There's somebody at your job that's a straight up fucking hater. Now, what the thing is that understanding that life is a balance of energy, you have to realize that there's more people that are running around on a day-to-day basis just watching you walk along your path that, in fact, are fucking hating on you and talking shit about you and running around and talking to their friend. Oh, look at that motherfucker. Look at how he's dressed. How come I can't dress like that? Look at that motherfucker. Why is he so happy? Isn't he going through the same struggle? I wish that something bad would happen to him because look at how nice that car is. Why can't I have that? You're letting a bunch of people build up a shit ton of negative energy on you for no fucking reason. And this happens every day, everywhere that you go. The thing is what are you doing to the people that you're passing by to give them a positive outlook on who you are? Because remember, everything is frequency and vibration. So my thing is what are you doing to counter those energies in the first place? You see, this is why they tell you that you need to go and you need to pay attention to other people around you. You don't walk past that homeless man, you give him something to fucking eat. You don't walk past your fucking coworker that's having a shitty day. You go and talk to them and try to see what's wrong with them. You don't guard your energies from people. You give them the energy. You teach them and lead them by your energies. You understand? So the problem is that a lot of people are going around in life and they're just ignoring those energies. But I want you to notice something. I want you to notice this for a second, right? I want you to take this into serious consideration. You see this? You see how even though they're not directly connected, that if you look, they're all walking the same path. Right? So just because somebody isn't physically connected to you doesn't mean that you're not connected in spirit. Proof of that is those thoughts that they have can affect you. You get too many people wishing fucking negative shit on you, and all of a sudden things start to, get a little slight in your life. Right? Why? Because not everybody wants to see you having progress. Right? And so you allow these people, oh, you shouldn't do that. This could happen. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Like, I wouldn't do that. Why would you do that? And now all of a sudden their energy is connected to what? Your intentions of the ideas or the things that you're trying to accomplish. Right? So what's that do? That begins to create a darkness inside of you. Right? In your temple. Notice how the temple, right? Notice how over here the temple has a door on it, and notice how over here the temple has no door. Why? Because this is where things are allowed to come and go, and this is the result of it. You understand? The things that other people put onto you become the foundation of the thoughts that you carry. You get me? And so because of that, the things that you think then start to affect your heart, which is an alteration of your energy, right? And that alteration of your energy is always tied to everybody around you, whether you think about them or not, because you're a part of them. You understand? No, this is the thing. You don't worry about getting rid of people. You're not here to get rid of people. That's not your job. If everybody that's around you is a part of you, getting rid of them is getting rid of a part of yourself. Why wouldn't you just want to help yourself? Is what you should be asking. Who taught you to be so negative towards people? Who taught you to disregard everybody that's behind you? Who taught you to fucking keep them outside of you? Who taught you not to allow them in your heart? Right? Who taught you not to be kind to people and offer them help? Who taught you that you have to keep them away from you? You're a part of them and they're a part of you. Everything that you do affects them and everything that they do affects you, no matter whether they're physically in your life or not. And it's sad, yo. It's so fucking sad. It's so sad that people have been taught to block everybody out. You understand? That shit, man, y'all don't even understand how much it hurts to see how much you guys are addicted to division. This is the whole reason why it is that we have an unrighteous nation. It's because everybody's always trying to keep everybody away from them. Everybody's always trying to push people away. You can do as much good for somebody as you want, but they're going to find a way to push you the fuck out due to the fact that they've carried the thoughts and allowed the thoughts of others to look at the things that they view in the way that you get things to them. The world's a little bit fucked up right now. You understand? The world's a little bit fucked up, and it really fucking pains me to see it because everybody is forgetting who their family really is, who the people are that give a fuck about them, who the people are that do things for them. And People are walking around with a heavy heart. People are walking around feeling like nobody sees them, like they always got somebody behind them, like somebody's always after them. Ah, man. It doesn't take much to show people a little bit of love. And it's scary because we live in a time where it's like people are so scared of the idea of allowing people into their hearts that they would rather attack you for it than be able to welcome it. See, Baldwin, where you're fucking up is the fact that you're expecting people to be good to you in return. That's your fucking problem, my guy. You're putting the weight of their reaction to your action on your shoulders when that's not your burden to bear. You don't have your gifts that you're given gifts to give to other people. You could be at home depressed as fuck, but be on the phone with your best friend giving them the best advice they ever had in their life. Your gifts aren't meant for you. You're supposed to give those away. And it's scary because there's so many people that feel what? Left out, forgotten, put it in people's past when all they want to do is what? Be seen. They just want recognition. It's that outside feeling of feeling like you're stuck on the outside of things that gets it to the point to where people's heart gets so fucked up that they what? They fall to a new energy, right? They go to those drugs. They go to that alcohol. They go to harming themselves. They go to fighting with everybody that they come across. Every time that they have a thought about somebody, it's, oh, they might do this, they might do that, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's all negative shit. No, you can't give too much of yourself. It's that idea that they owe you something in return that's making you think that. You have an unlimited source of energy. Your heart is a vortex that draws in energy constantly. You never run out of energy. Your energy is there for you to share with others because they are a part of you. If you go outside right now and you go outside right now and you see somebody that's homeless, you go and give him a $20 bill. He's going to get himself something to eat, but if he runs into somebody else that's homeless, he's going to what? He's going to be like, here's a couple dollars, go get you something. But if you go out there and you see that homeless person and you just fucking raise your chin to them and keep on walking past them and you don't help them, what happens? They can't help nobody else. You're creating a pattern of negativity. But if you give that homeless person that money and you do that with the thought of, if, you know that more than likely contains some fucking, what's, no, why the fuck am I being restricted? Hold on a second. They better fucking rerun my shit. Listen, right? At the end of the day, everything that you do outside in that world affects how others are affected in their own lives. You might not see it directly. You understand? Because it's on the outside of you. It might be on the outside of you. You get me? Notice how of you, listen to this. Notice how of you, the outside of view, of you is a view. Think about what you're saying. It's on the outside of you. That's a view. That's a vision. That's a thing that you see. You might not be able to see how your fucking action is affecting other people, but it always is. It always is. And the things that you hold on to, right? The ways that you carry yourself are the things that are determined by the thoughts that you allow to create the energy that you operate under. Sometimes we forget that shit and things start to get a little dark. Right? Things can get real dark real fast thinking that, you know, there's a have to do. You get what I'm saying? Bro, center life. Center life. As long as you continue to speak with that type of intention, you're always, notice how it's intention. You notice how it's intentions. What are your intentions? What are the things that are binding you? Tension is how strong of a hold something has over you. So as long as you keep carrying those type of intentions in your hearts and those type of thoughts are the things that you're allowing to grow, it's going to show and reflect in that physical shit around you. Maybe, did you ever think that maybe if you didn't think that way and act that way and talk that way and present that idea of how you see that CEO and you went up to a CEO that had billions of dollars and like, here's $20, go get you something to eat. You don't think that that would change the way they view people? If you don't think that, that's because you're making that your reality, my guy. I know for a fact that I affect millions of people. You understand? See, that's that shit to be hurting. You're carrying around a whole bunch of fucking people's ideas of a reality that doesn't have to exist. Right? Why are you doing that? Because a bunch of people had those ideas and fucking put that idea in you. That's not even you talking. Your heart wants to be there and be good for people. Your heart wants to be good for people. Why? Because your heart is the thing that keeps you alive and your heart doesn't want stress on it. So it always reminds you to show people love. No, nobody's coming up. Your heart is the thing that knows how to sustain your body. Your mind will get you into some fuck shit. You need to control that. That's that monkey throwing that shit in your face right now, my guy. You need to get that you need to get that motherfucker under control. Because that shit is giving you what? A hang up. You see how that hand's on there? Right? Now, this arm goes in two directions. It's something that brings you up and uplifts you, or it's something that's holding you down. It all depends on how you are understanding, right? See how he's standing under the thoughts? It's how you understand or understand the intentions that your mind is processing and how you're regulating that into your life. No, it's not your heart that you need to control. Your thing is, see, the thing is that we have this idea that because you show somebody love, they have to show it back to you. But that's not real love, because love is unconditional. So if your love comes with a condition, it's always going to be something that weighs you down. Because you're always going to have an expectation of the thing that you're supposed to get in response to that. So that's not love. That's ownership. That's possession. You understand? So as long as you try to say, well, you have to do this, and this to show me love. As long as you carry those expectations with you, somebody's always going to what? Let you down. Why? Because you're sitting there dictating how somebody else is supposed to act. That's not love. That's a burden. That's a burden that you're going to carry. And a lot of that comes from how other people have told you that things are supposed to be. A lot of people don't know what love is, because all they think of is, what are they doing for me? Which makes it impossible for them to what? Uplift themselves through the love that they're being shown. They can't see it because they're blinded by the ideas that they have of what it's supposed to be instead of accepting it for what it is. Which blinds them. It blinds them. They can't see outside of themselves. They can only see what they think and what they observe rather than being able to see it from somebody else's perspective. Just because you give that fucking CEO $20 doesn't mean that he has to do anything for anybody. It's not about what he does. It's the example that you just set for him. It's the fact that you expect there to be a result of that that's going to lead you to always fucking tearing yourself down. Because look, if you notice, this hand is on nobody else's scale but yours. You can literally pull yourself down. There is no hate, my friend. There's only loving something so much that you can't accept it in another way. Now, you've been taught hate. Hate is something that you've been taught. Hate doesn't truly exist. That just means that you love shit the way that you love it, and you love it so much in that way that you can't see it any other way. You love it like this, but it might be like this. And because you carry that inside of you, it reflects in the ways that your reality gets shaped. You get me? Bro, Center Life, if somebody in a relationship is hurting you over and over and over again, it's because of the fact that you're not really fucking showing them love. You're showing them ownership and possession. You're not allowing them to be who they are. You don't accept them. You have your own idea of who they're supposed to be, and that doesn't match up with who they are. You've decided who they must be to you, and they're this person over here. You're not allowing them to be themselves. Once again, that is your own hang up. You're ruining that for yourself. Nothing. Nothing. Y'all don't, a lot of you haven't really experienced real love. Literally, a lot of you haven't really experienced real love in your life. A lot of you are very possessive instead of being loving. A lot of you are controlling instead of accepting. It has to be your way or it's wrong. A lot of you are trying to dictate love off of how they told you that a relationship is supposed to act, or told you that a relationship's supposed to be, or seeing it on a TV screen of some la-di-da fuck shit. A lot of y'all are basing everything off of other people's ideas instead of just enjoying the fact that you love that person in the first place. Instead of just enjoying the fact that that person has the ability to bring that feeling out of you in the first place. Yeah, that Ken and Barbie shit ain't real. That's not love. That's ownership. You're being possessive. You're possessing them and allowing them to possess you. That's the difference between sharing a bond. That's not a shared bond. That's a, this is my way or the highway. No, love does not have standards. That's not love. See, that's the problem if you've been taught that type of shit. No, ZT22, the Palestinians are not supposed to love Israel. That's not how that works, my guy. You're looking at it from the wrong perspective. What you should be looking at from that situation is, thank God it's not happening to you. You see how your perspective's fucked up? Now, that's why this is where things that are happening around you are there to uplift you by the realization that you're not having to go through that struggle. Oh, it's all right, divine freedom. It's all good. Think about that for a minute. You know that across the world there's a bunch of fucked up shit going on. The fact that you're not going through that kind of fucked up shit right now should be making you appreciate every day that you're not walking outside with a fucking bomb going off in your backyard. Realize that a lot of you are unable to see that the pain of others is... Now this is where pleasure and pain come together, because their pain should be your pleasure. You should be able to enjoy the fact that you're not having to go through the same suffering that they're going through. But look, you're too busy thinking about stupid shit. Oh, I'm going to argue about love. Well, is your fucking house blowing up right now? I'm going to argue about love. Shouldn't you just be happy that you got somebody to go along the ride with you? I got to argue about how I want them to... they need to do it my way. If they don't do it my way, then they're not showing... Okay, well, guess what? You're never going to be happy that way. You're never going to be happy that way. One, you're not taking the examples of all the things that you could be going through and using that to get you through your everyday. You probably woke up pissed off this morning. Why? Because you don't realize that, you're not taking in account of the fact that you didn't have to wake up this morning. You're not learning how to appreciate your life. You get what I'm saying? It's not... Look, you got to understand, when they tell you to, turn that other cheek, right? When they tell you shit like that, this is what they mean by that. Let me explain this to you. Oh, it is very difficult to digest at times, right? Sometimes you can't see things from other people's perspectives. But luckily for you, we have television so that you can see things from other people's perspectives. Now, whether you allow that television to indoctrinate you, or whether you use that television to motherfucking enlift yourself in the things in the struggles that you go through, is up to you. It's about your perspective. Right? Now, why do they say turn the other cheek? What are they really talking about? What that is realize that a lot of people are only acting off of the things that they've been taught. Now, how you react to how they do things is always going to bring out a specific result. You can control that by showing them in your reaction to the thing that they're doing. But every once in a while, that monkey gets in the way and fucks your shit up to the point to where you can't have compassion for others, no matter what they do. Sometimes that monkey just comes out of fucking nowhere and hits you in the face with that shit. Okay? Bro. Okay, let me ask you something while you're being so negative in my chat. Tell me how many people you know that aren't narcissistic. I'll wait. Don't sit there and tell me you're not narcissistic, because I hear you giving blame to people right now. So tell me who isn't narcissistic. Are you sure about that? There's nothing in life that you don't do for yourself. The fuck do you mean? See, this is where knowing yourself comes into play. There's not a single one of you walking around that is living right now that isn't doing everything in life for yourself. Whether you're doing something to uplift somebody else, feels good to you. Whether you're doing something to uplift yourself, it's about you. Whether you're helping somebody out, it's about how it makes you feel. Everything that you do is for yourself. What the fuck do you mean you're not a narcissist? A narcissist is somebody that blames everybody else for their shit. You blame people because you can't see things for their perspective. That's not a judgment, Antonio. That's a fact of life. Everything you do is for yourself. It's for self-preservation. Whether it be something that makes you feel good, whether it be something that tears you down, everything that you do, no matter how much you do for others, you're doing for yourself, because you're all connected. Don't forget that part. You keep forgetting the part that everything that you do has a reaction to it out in the other parts of the world. Not if you allow God to use you. Shut the fuck up. You're doing that for your own salvation, my guy. How do you not realize these things? The only thing you're letting God work through you is because you want to go to heaven. Shut the fuck up. Stop lying to yourself. You're a narcissist. You see, it's not my fault. Everybody else is doing it. Yes, Antonio, yes. Yes, Antonio, yes. You're literally doing... No, I'm not letting you up to bring your fucking bullshit into my chat. You're not going to train people in my life to have that negative train of thoughts and that selfish nature without fucking proof. No, you don't love people. You just sat there and called people narcissists like you're not one of them. You don't love... That's not showing people love. If you loved them, you wouldn't be fucking calling them names in the first place. You're not showing love right there. That's not allowing the Creator to operate through you. You're only doing that because you have a fear of fucking going to hell. Once again, you're still doing that for yourself. You don't go to church for anybody but yourself. You don't think that you're calling on Jesus for anybody but yourself. That's for your salvation. It tells you in the Bible, for your salvation, call on this. Okay, so that's for you. Now tell me again how you're not doing that for yourself. You see, know thyself. Those who seek wisdom will receive it. Those who don't have the eyes to see will never see. This is why you don't cast pearls before swine. What that means is not that somebody's bad. It means that when somebody decides something in a certain way, that telling them isn't going to matter until they can what? See it for themselves. No, sir, I don't bring up... I don't want nobody coming up in my lives, bro. I don't. I apologize. This isn't the time for that because you're going to take me away from my teachings and I'm not here to debate with you. I'm here to pass messages that I feel like I'm meant to give. So you're either going to take them in or you're going to push them out. That's up to you. I don't care which way you take it, but I love you either way. That's why I'm sharing it with you in the first place. Okay? The problem is that you're trying to bring a negative, right? We're trying to build positivity. See? We're trying to go from two into building a strong one. You're going and taking two and dividing it. You're making division. You're separating things when everything's connected. That's not no. Because by calling somebody a narcissist, you're assuming that you're above them. That's that monkey coming out. That's that fucking monkey right there. Right? That's that monkey just throwing that random shit at you again. Okay? That monkey is what's got you thinking that people are narcissistic, but you're not. That you're not part of everybody around you and that you don't do that same shit yourself. But everything that you've said this whole entire time has been about you. You get what I'm saying? No, my guy, you're the one that's claiming that you're not narcissistic. Everybody is by definition. You get me? There's nobody that's walking around that does not do for themselves. Bro, you were the one arguing about God. Oh, I let God within me. Why'd you do that? Because you thought that was going to get you to heaven. You understand? That was your comment. That wasn't somebody else. That was you. Now, if I'm mistaken, I apologize. But I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure that was you that made that comment. About letting God into your heart and letting God guide you. Right? I love you too, guy. But this is the thing. It's like you're taking back your words right now, I think. I'm pretty sure that it was you. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you not the person that I was discussing letting God within you? You do that so that you can be saved. That's about you. That's not about helping other people. That's about you. That is about you. See, that's that denial thing. You're denying yourself. The thing is that you wouldn't have let God within you in the first place if somebody didn't tell you would go to hell if you didn't. Right, you do that to live. That's okay, my guy. That is okay. That's what I'm saying. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. Just realize that you do that for your own preservation. Just like everybody else. You get me? We all do the same thing. Everybody is doing everything for themselves. You can't, bro. Okay. All right, I'm going to move along. I'm going to move along because you're sitting here lying to yourself, and I'm okay with that. You can keep lying to yourself, but it's clear and apparent to everybody that's not indoctrinated into the church what you're doing. You have to realize that, you're just not, you're unable to see things from a different perspective. You have this internal perspective that you're blocking everything to get to them. Yes, it is true. Hey, what up, Prescott? Where the fuck you been, guy? Oh, let me make sure I follow you on this account. What's up, man? Hey, I'm going to make you a mod, though, because you're somebody I've known for years, so, Hey, Prescott, the rule is everybody gets the guillotine, okay? Don't never give nobody a silence, okay? If I say swing that axe, you just get them out permanently. Just fucking, okay? Don't do that silence shit, because then they go and try to fucking flag all kinds of shit, okay? I'm glad you found me, though. I know, I forgot I changed I had to make new accounts, bro. They took my accounts down. I got too political for them. Hey, ZT, sometimes tough love is all people really need at the time. Okay? Sometimes people are more destructive than they are constructive, and you got to protect the people that are there to learn from you by removing some of the people that can't be taught at the time. Love comes in all forms. Love can be very kind and uplifting, or love can be very strong and fucking bring somebody down. Sometimes you got to humble people out with love. You can't always, you don't have to, sometimes, all right, think about it like this. Sometimes the best love that you can show somebody that's being ignorant to you is by, okay, you got to step the fuck off for a minute before I have to lash out at you. Sometimes you got to know that sometimes the best thing to do is to let them run their own psychosis in their own head. Right? You get what I'm saying? You didn't miss much. I've just been talking. You get me? You get me? So that's the thing. Like, yeah, exactly. You can love somebody from a distance. You can love somebody from a distance. Sometimes if people aren't able to appreciate shit and they aren't able to fucking reciprocate, sometimes you gotta get the fuck away from them. Not only for your own sanity, but also for theirs. Sometimes the best thing that you can do from somebody is put them away from you. It's a shame. Sometimes that happens, but it's best to give them the chance first. Because sometimes we push people away because our own shit's out of control. Right? Sometimes you're unable to see things because your perspective's only one direction. You get me? But this is the thing. A lot of times we end up pushing people away due to the fact that we refuse to see things from their perspective. Once again, sometimes we're not able to show people love because love is unconditional, right? Sometimes you decide that it has to be a certain way and end up fucking pushing them out. And you were the one that wasn't being forgiving. And that shit ends up doing what? Hurting you more than it hurts them. Alright? Think about that. So, the way that you carry yourself is reflected in the ones that follow behind you. All the ones that observe you are changing the way that they act and react to the things that you display to them. Okay? So, it's not that you need to guard your heart. See, people are teaching people a bunch of wrong shit. You don't guard your heart. You need to open your heart more. Because sometimes the whole reason that you have a problem is because you simply haven't been able to open your heart up enough to see it from their perspective in the first place. A lot of us get stuck. A lot of us get stuck thinking things have to be our way, and then shit gets fucked up. And then you end up losing good people due to the fact that you can't fucking see it any other way than your way. Nah, you can never be too forgiving. How are you too forgiving? You have the ability to forgive everybody around you. That's the best thing that you have about you. You understand? Because if you don't forgive people, guess what that means? That means that you're the one that's going to carry that negativity with you. People that you don't forgive, they're fucking on, they're moved on with their life, doing their shit. You're the only one carrying that fucking negative energy. So who's the one that's getting punished for you not forgiving them? See, that's why you got to find it in your heart. The thing is you don't owe people apologies for the things that you do. People will always think the way that they think of you no matter what you do or say. You can apologize to somebody a million fucking times. It doesn't mean that they're going to forgive you, so don't worry about apologizing to them. I know that sounds crazy, but worrying about whether they forgive you or not is never going to fucking do anything but make you carry a burden. Because a lot of people don't know how to be forgiving. A lot of people will hold the fuck on to some shit that they fucking deem themselves forever. And they will hold on to that and they will use that as a foundation for them to attack you because they love you so much that they only can fucking hate you because of the fact that they refuse to let go of that fucking energy. If you can't forgive others, that's going to turn into resentment. And that resentment is then the thing that you use to fuel the negative thoughts. Then all of a sudden you start making up negative thoughts about somebody to justify the fact that you've carried that burden with you. Meanwhile, they're not even fucking thinking about you. They done moved on with life. You can forget too. You can forget. You just got to go outside and ground that shit and wash it the fuck out of your system. But the thing is, so don't burden yourself with worrying about whether somebody forgives you. Forgive yourself for making the mistake. You understand? Forgive yourself for having the idea that something had to be specific because they might never forgive you for that shit. Ever. Ever. And then every time they start to miss you, every time they start to think of positive things about you, what are they going to do? They're going to go right to that fucking thing that they're holding on to, and they're going to use that to reverse it. They're going to be generating a new fucking way to think about you. They're going to force themselves to see you in a negative manner because they can't accept the fact that the thing that they did and that they can't forgive and that they keep holding on to them is the thing that's fucking them up in the first place. Think about that for a moment. Think about it. People that carry that negative fucking shit with them, right? What do? They get all pissed off every time they start thinking of how much they enjoyed your company. Right? They get pissed off about it because you're not in their company anymore. Right? So what happens is because they still carry their fucking idea of the shit that you have to do, and in order for them to fucking, they then will generate their own negativities off of that thing they hold on to prove to themselves that you're a piece of shit so that they can justify the way that they act towards you. So that they can justify it because they can't accept the things that they are carrying with them. You get me? So you gotta learn to what? Let shit go. Sometimes we hold on to things just a little too fucking much. Sometimes instead of it going up, it's bringing you down. Instead of it making you stronger, it's actually weakening you. You get me? So, not for nothing, but oh shit. Hey, look. I just noticed something on here that I didn't notice before. Hold on. Check this out. Where's that flip button? Flip! Okay, look. Check this out. Now, see the horned serpent or the what? Or the worm, right? You see that little guy right there? You see how he's carrying the structure as he's walking and bringing together. You see the path that he's taking, right? Going outside and then going back in. You see how that is creating something over the land, right? As that view or that word of the two is being displayed in a way that binds together the heart and the energy that's moving or being given. Right? You see that little scythe right there? Why would it be a scythe right there? Because what? Energy cuts, right? The word, you can cut somebody with the word. So you got a little scythe right there. Okay, that's that energy that's being utilized, right? And so in that, on the scales, you're uplifting, because birds fly, you can uplift that energy, or you can let it take you through them waters, right? What's the Ebers do? The Ebers walks through them waters, right? What are the waters that you walk through? Other people's thoughts. But they'll tell you this is not that, and give you some weird ass fucking language that doesn't make no sense out of none of this shit. Try to tell you that this is something to do. No. See, if you understand the nature, you understand the text. You get me? I can run you through this shit, and they'll be sitting there trying to figure out what the words are. The fuck are you doing? No picture's worth 1,000 words. All you got to do is recognize the things that you're looking at. Right? You see? Look, and we can take this row by row and go through it. Look. You see how up here you have this little loop thing, right? So what's that? That's out and back in and out. You have a rabbit there. That's something that's new that's being created. You have a little twisted knot, a twisted rope. Why is it a twisted rope? Because there's a binding taking process of something that's being what? That's being carried or delivered or separated from. Okay? Which is creating, right, that new thing, right? Because the rabbit is the representation of what? Fast movement, growth, reproduction, creation, right? The little bird is the thing that's created, right? So that is the new thing that was made, right? So by cutting ties, right? See the rope that's bound? See how there's a scythe that's under it that's being given? So by cutting those new ties to those new thoughts, you can actually balance out the hearts that's tied to the mind, right? That's tied to what you see, so that you're submitting to a new energy. Those with the eyes to see will see. But you get somebody from Kemet in here, and they're going to tell you this means suck, and it's going to say some stupid shit about a god or some dumb shit like that. No, that's a whole bunch of nonsense. See how easy that was? Did it seem like I fucking had? Did I seem like I had to go and read some text to understand it? No, because that's not their fucking shit to understand. We're Israelites over here. This is our information that was shared with them. They're never going to get it the way that I get it. The reason that they can't get it that way is because they're going off of a new system that was tried to be forced on everybody. That's a new world order. They're coming at it with a new language that was put on it that gives them words out of pictures. The reason that it was pictures is so that it can be talked about in every single language and that it can be understood in every language. So by going there and trying to put some specific fucking language and trying to group these together to make specific words and shit like that, all you're doing is removing the actual knowledge of it. I could tell you all this shit. All this shit tells me this shit tells me a lot. Tells me way more than what they can learn from it, because what's the opposite of that, right? So here you have the severing of the ties, but if we look at it in the other direction, you have the bonding of the ties as well to create something new in itself. You see how easy that is to flip? Do you see why it can be read from left to right or up to down? Because the polar opposite is always there. Now, outside of that, you can also apply this in many different ways, right? There's a million ways that this can be read. None of them have a specific language tied to it. That whole comedic bullshit is literally just that, okay? So I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this live. I'm going to go get me a smoke. So I will be hitting the bricks. And I hope that y'all have a great day. And I hope that you understood some of this shit. And thank you for participating. I'll be back later. And remember, try to bring up the ones that are around you. Okay? Peace. This will be uploaded to the YouTube. Okay? Peace.